Okay, Mike, here's the first of a couple of videos just to go through the Thorns Barb build that you wanted. This one I'll go through the abilities rather quickly so we can keep it tight, kind of under 5 minutes, and then I'll do a separate one with Paragon board. So starting at the top, make sure you go into Flay, and then grab Enhanced and Combat. That's going to give you, by spamming your basic, it's going to keep up a decent amount of thorns and damage mitigation. So make sure you get combat flay. And you're essentially just spamming it for the thorns. You're not getting a ton of damage out of it. And that's it there. You won't have anything in the core part of the tree, right? And then coming down here to defensive skills, you're going to have Rallying Cry. It's going to give you a nice speed boost. And then by going into Enhanced, you gain Unstoppable. So it's a source of Unstoppable, which is huge. And then also grab the Fortify out of it too for survivability. I also go Iron Skin, put a couple of points into that, at least starting out. You can come back and put extras that you get. There's an aspect that I use to make this a source of Unstoppable as well. And so aside from the barrier, you also want to grab the Enhanced and then get the Strategic so that you can get some Fortify out of that. And then this is probably the most important shout, which is Challenging Shout. You want this to be up as much as it possibly can be, because with this, not only does it mitigate damage, but it gives you a bonus to maximum life, and then you get Thorns equal to 30% of your maximum life when you grab Strategic Challenging Shout. So that's a must-have. And it's also why you try to keep your health as high as humanly possible. You want to make sure you max out on Outburst, and then Tough as Nails, we've talked about this, is probably the most important passive for the build. Max that out as much as you can. Try to get some bonus on your necklace. You can see mine's up to 6. And then in Brawling skills, you want to make sure you grab Warcry. This is your final shout, and it will be a source of berserking and a source of damage for you as well. Booming Voice, absolute must. Give that 3 out of 3. And one of the reasons we're running 3 shouts is because it helps you with cooldowns as well. So make sure you go all in on full on Booming Voice, and then at least a couple of points on Guttural Yell is good for survival. Since you almost always have shouts up, might as well have the damage mitigation. Down here in the Weapon Mastery skills, you want to grab Steel Grasp. And really just a point, you're only just using this for gathering monsters to you so that they hit you and get hit by your thorns. And then the Vulnerable is nice, and this also becomes a source of berserking with Fighter Steel Grasp, so make sure and put those on. Thick Skin is really nice to have a point or two in. I went full 3 because it's a great source of Fortify. And then I have like 1 rank into Defensive Stance, but I don't know that I'd even notice if this was gone. So use your own judgment. If you got an extra point laying around, grab that. And then very importantly, because your Thorns now do bleeding damage from the Tough as Nails passive that we had you max out, put 1 point in Hamstring. You only need the 1 point. And that means every time you hit something with Thorns, it has a form of crowd control applied to it. So it slows them down a little bit, but more importantly, you have a crowd control status that you can use to buff damage. Then down here to ultimate skills, nothing. It's all about the shouts and your 1 basic. And then for key passives, I use Unconstrained just to keep berserking up as much as humanly possible. Some of that's done with the Paragons. Don't worry too much about that until you're past 50 and you're into your 2nd or even 3rd board. But that is why I used Unconstrained, is for that. So that is that's that from the skill tree. I'll do a second video for the rest.